is John Colo at DiscountJuicers.com. Today we have another exciting episode for you. And in this episode, this #1 juicer expert in the world will compare a $50 juicer to a $2,500 juicer. Actually, right now, this month only, the month this video is being released, February, the Pure Juicer is on sale. All the base models are on sale for 15% off. Right off in your shopping cart. In addition, if you guys want to buy the Pure Juicer, you make sure you guys use my coupon code that's linked down below in the description to get an additional $25 off your purchase of the Pure Juicer. Seriously, guys, this is the most expensive juicer that we sell at DiscountJuicers.com, and it has many benefits, including the juicer that makes the highest yield and most enzymatic activity in the juice. In addition, unlike many juicers, it can efficiently juice pretty much most items, maybe the exclusion of wheatgrass, but most common fruits and vegetables, it'll actually get the highest yield on, which is actually quite impressive. Of course, you can also use this grinder attachment to grind up nuts and seeds, make nut butters and frozen fruit sorbets, as well as a myriad of other tasks in the kitchen. So if you guys want to get the Pure Juicer, make sure you buy it this month to save the extra up to $400 off on the machine. It's 15% off. Link down below. And I want to thank you guys when you guys do use my coupon code. And the link down below, Pure shares a small commission with me so I can continue to make these educational video comparisons comparing different juicers here on YouTube. I have over 600 of them online right now. And make sure you click that subscribe button and click the bell so you get notified as many videos come out so you don't miss an exciting episode. Alright, so with that, we're going to compare two juicers today. And actually, this is the Housnat Centrifugal Ejection high-speed machine. Housnat reached out to me and said, "Hey John, we want you to test our juicer on your channel. We love your channel." I'm like, "Okay, great." And I told him, I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to compare it to a more expensive juicer, of course, because their machine's only 50 bucks. And, you know, to me, this is a low-end machine. And also, I would consider this like literally a quote-unquote toy because I promote all the major brands and high-end juicers. Now, I don't have anything against like low-end juicers, but, you know, I want you guys to know what you guys are buying when you guys buy a juicer. If you only got 50 bucks to spend on a juicer, you know, I don't even know if I'd get this one because this is a high-speed machine. I'd actually get a low-speed machine instead of the high-speed. I'm not a big fan of the high-speed machines. They basically oxidize the juice, although they do not generate heat like many people may claim online, but they do significantly lower the nutritional quality of the juice, as well as it is not effective at juicing things like leafy greens and certain fruits, you know, as well. In addition, a lot of the inexpensive juicers that look like this may not even have a warranty. This machine had no warranty in the instruction manual when I read through it, nor in the listing to purchase it. And in addition, I think you only have like a basically 30-day return policy if it doesn't work or breaks within 30 days. Otherwise, you bought it, you own it from the retailer that sells it. Meanwhile, different story on the Pure Juicer. I mean, this is probably one of the highest end, highest quality machines you guys could buy. The machine is entirely made out of stainless steel, except for the pusher that is a plastic, but you can't get the optional wooden pusher if you would prefer. This machine has a full 12-year warranty, and another thing that's exclusive to the Pure, unlike any other juicer in the juicer industry, is that this has a 12-year transferable warranty, meaning that your resale value will be higher because the person that the original purchaser sells it to, provided they transfer it properly, will also have the remainder of the warranty. So this is actually completely impressive. Now, the fact of the matter is most people that order this style machine, which is a two-stage hydraulic press, true cold press juicer, because first stage is you grind up the produce into a mash. The reason why this is so beneficial is because this machine is more effective at grinding the fruits and vegetables up to a smaller particle size, which will release more nutrients available to be able to come out of it. And then you basically put it through a hydraulic press that works on thousands of pounds of pressure to literally crush and squeeze out the juice, and that will result in a pretty much sawdust dry pulp every single time you use the machine. So that's really the claim to fame on the Pure Juicer. Now, this style juicer was invented by Norman Walker back in the 1930s, I think around 1934. So this is actually old school technology, but it definitely still works today. You know, comparing it over to this side, if I had to say which one makes more yield, I mean, honestly, the Pure is going to make more yield. Which one makes a higher nutrient quality? I'm going to say the Pure makes a higher nutrient quality than the Housnat high-speed machine, of course. Which one is more likely to break sooner? I'm going to say the Housnat. I mean, reading through the instruction manual, this thing kind of like, I'm like, are they kidding me? When I looked through it, it said that this machine has a 2-minute duty cycle. What does that mean? That means you could use a machine for 2 minutes, juice 2 minutes straight. Then it says you should shut the machine off and let it cool down for at least 2 minutes before you could use it again, because you may overheat the motor. And of course, if you look at the reviews on this machine, there's people that say the motor overheated and it no longer works. Meanwhile, I don't know the exact specification on the Pure juicer and how long you guys could let it run, but I'll be the first to tell you guys that I have run this machine for an hour straight, like keeping it on the whole time, and it's never failed me yet. So, I mean, once again, you want to spend 50 bucks, you get 2 minutes of juicing, or you could spend a little bit more, a lot more, and have like literally an hour of juicing if you want. You know, now people normally buy this that are on the Gerson therapy program. The Gerson therapy is a very specific anti-disease program. A lot of people that have cancer will get on the Gerson therapy and use this machine because that is the only juicer, only style juicer they recommend, the grinding and pressing style machine. Of course, me, I'm not Gerson and I'm not affiliated with the Gerson therapy people. I have my own recommendations as the #1 world juicer expert, and my link is down below to a video that I made, you know, the best juicer if you want to heal or have cancer, and that'd be, of course, my personal opinions on that topic. In any case, without further ado, let's go ahead and explain how these machines work, and then we're going to actually get into a real-world juice-off. All right, so first we'll start with the Housnat. This is a very centrifugal ejection style machine, very simple. How this works is we could pull this off, and it has basically a pusher. I think it's a 2.5-inch wide feed chute, not exactly 3 inches there. You push the produce down this feed chute there. It then hits the blades as it goes into the machine. And this is actually a stainless steel clad, so it's all plastic with a thin sheet of stainless steel that makes it look nice. And then the produce basically goes into these little shredding blades, much like a grater when you're grating up carrots. This is a fine shredder, so it shreds it in a real fine particle size. And then at the instant it's shred, juice is released. This is running really fast, so the juice flings out the holes in the screen and then comes out the front of this plastic bowl right here. And then the pulp is then supposed to be ejected out the back. Now, to me, this part does not look well designed. It's just really squared off, which may make it look nice, but I think it's very not functional because the pulp will come in here, and instead of being rounded like, you know, juicers should be, it's square, so the pulp actually stops and actually does not drop in. So it does say in the instruction manual, after a certain amount of juice, you should stop and take it all apart and clean it, which they could alleviate it by actually designing it a little bit better, which is quite sad. So yeah, and then it's pretty easy to assemble. We're just going to go ahead and drop that in, drop the cutting blade in, drop this piece on the top, drop this up, and we're locked into place. So that's very simple operation. Oh, and I forgot to mention, that cutting disc runs up to 18,000 revolutions per minute. There's technically 3 speeds, like a burst speed off, and then a low speed, and then a high speed. I think the high speed runs up to 18,000, and that's the speed I'll be using today for carrots as well as apples and jicama. Meanwhile, over on the Pure juicer, this works a totally different way. While you do need to push produce into this machine, it's a 2-stage machine. The first stage is you grind it up. So unlike this machine is entirely stainless steel. This is actually a really nice machine piece right here. The produce goes in the top of the feed chute, which definitely is a little bit smaller than 2.5 inches, not much. So we put this pusher in here, not a lot of space, maybe a ½ inch or so. And then what happens is as the produce goes in, it hits this fast spinning blade. So this is known as a triturating blade, and actually just literally grinds up the produce. And then it basically runs it through a little screen here, and then it sends it out the bottom. So basically now you have a ground up produce. During the grind, some juice is released, which then you can catch in the catch cup underneath, as I will show you guys in a minute. The next part is you will actually take that pulp, put it in a juice press cloth that I have right here, You're going to fold the pulp up in this press cloth, put the press cloth in the press, turn the press on, and all through hydraulics without you doing any jacking. It's basically going to squeeze out the juice and get the pulp super dry. So this operation runs at 3,450 RPM, which is significantly slower than the 18,000 RPM on the high-speed machine. And then when you're done, of course, you're going to have to clean the machines, and I'd say probably the Housnat will be easier to clean because you're going to have a little more pieces to clean because of the cutter and the press plate, which is going to be easy, but then you got all the dishes to catch all the juice as well, and the pulp. Alright, so the first thing I want to do for you guys is a sound test, right? A lot of people don't like loud juicers, and a loud juicer can't really be used in the morning if you have to go to work and your family is sleeping. So today I have a decibel meter, and actually we're going to go ahead and sound check the Housnat high-speed machine as well as the pure juicer when it's running and there's nothing in it. Alright, so first we'll do the Housnat. Alright, so we peaked out at 83 decibels when the Housnat, and once again we're going to go ahead and turn on the pure to see how loud this one is. Alright, this one's a lot quieter. This one comes in at 67 decibels when it's empty. Of course, when you're using it, will get a little bit louder, as will the Housnat. Alright, so now that we did the sound check, I think the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to do a juice off comparison. We're juicing even amounts of carrots, jicama, pear, lemon, and ginger today. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and do a weigh-in to make sure we have a fair fight. Alright, let's go ahead and look at the scales over on the Housnat side. Looks like we got 1776. And then over on the pure side, looks like we also got 1776 grams. Let's take a look at both scales. 1776 on both scales. We got an even mixture of jicama, carrots, pears, lemon, and ginger. Now that we got the weigh-in done, let's go ahead and get the scales out of the way and let's get juicing. I think today I'll be juicing first in the Housnat since that's going to go a lot faster. Alright, now the one thing I did want to say is that the Housnat company does not recommend you juice ginger in it, because if you juice a lot of ginger, the high-speed machines can basically clog up, jam, and you could probably break the motor. That being said, I am juicing a little bit of ginger that I did slice lengthwise, not a lot, so hopefully this machine will be able to do it. Otherwise, I'm going to break it on video for you guys. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. This will get a little bit loud, so I'll probably just speed this up for you guys and come back at you when we're done. We just got done juicing in the Housnat. It's extremely loud. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but literally the juice is spraying out and actually missing the container. Got all over the table here. And yeah, basically filled up the whole pitcher. So yeah, I'm glad we didn't overflow it. Alright, so next I'm going to go ahead and juice in the pure 2-stage hydraulic cold press juicer. And to do that, we got 2 steps. We got to basically put the produce through the grinder and grind it up, and then we're going to basically take the mash that ends up in this sieve, drop it onto our press cloth, fold up our press cloth in a tic-tac-toe pattern, and then put it in the press and activate the press and have it juice. The cool thing about the pure is that it allows you to multitask, so you could actually concurrently be grinding produce up as you are pressing it. And that is a technique that I'll be using today. Some people prefer to put a big bowl underneath the grinding part and just grind up everything first and then put things in the press. I prefer to multitask and, you know, grind while it is pressing to be most efficient with my time. Alright, so with that, let's go ahead and get started. So first step is we're going to go ahead and turn the pure on, and we're just going to start grinding up the produce through the machine. Alright, so it's basically pulping it up, and you got to watch out when you put things in to make sure you put the pusher in so it doesn't kick back at you. And as you guys can see, the pulp is coming out and it's catching the juice down below, so that's why I'm doing a double strainer method. So I think in order to save you guys some time, we're just going to go ahead and speed this part of the video up for you. Alright, so we're just about done juicing in the pure. Let's go ahead and lower the platen. And I always like to tip it up, make sure we get any last bits of juice off. And now I want to show you guys actually the pulp that was generated by the pure and actually by the Housnat. It's definitely interesting to look at the pulps here. So we got the pulp that just came out of that last batch, and I did a few other batches. I did 1, 2, 3, 4 batches total. And I guess we could just put these all together as like a big sandwich. And then on the Housnat, let's go ahead and tip this machine up, get any last bits of juice out. Not much in there. Looks like we're getting drips out of the bottom of the machine, which is interesting. And we're just going to go ahead and put the pulp on the little tray here. As you guys can see in here, like, there's just a lot of pulp. Like, whoa. A lot of pulp just stuck in here. It wasn't really ejecting out. I'd say this is not a very well-designed machine. And actually, on the contrary, the Pure is probably one of the best designed juicers. They took an existing machine, actually the Norwalk juicer that had a lot of inherent challenges. Unfortunately, Norwalk is now out of business. They took the Norwalk and basically improved every single area of it, including the press plate and including the grinder, including the offset feed chute, including the housing. I mean, actually take a link, check the link down below where I compare the Pure to the Norwalk, so you guys could see and learn the difference and why this machine is so much better than a Norwalk, literally because of the engineering, the design, as well as even just the packing that it ships into you. Alright, so there's a lot more pulp still in here. Let's see, there's pulp in this collection bin here. And there's more pulp inside here. Alright, so this is interesting, guys. I'll show you in a minute. Alright, so this machine is so poorly engineered and designed that when this is spinning, juice, because this is running so fast, juice is spraying out of the front. But in addition, it looks like juice is getting down between, this little area and actually getting into the housing here, because this whole bottom part is wet. I don't know if you guys can see it dripping out there. But to me, I mean, this is just a very inadequately designed juicer. Very poor design. I mean, yes, it does juice, and if you're juicing for no longer than 2 minutes and don't really care about the quality of the juice, don't really care if you're going to have a juicer after 30 days, then spend your money on the Housnat, alright? Alright, so look at the difference in the pulp, guys. This is insane. This is the Pure pulp, and this is the Housnat pulp. That's like a big difference. We put the same amount in, but the big difference is how much came out. This pulp is actually still rather wet. You know, if I squeeze it out, it's pretty, you could wring it out and still drips. And look, there's whole pieces of peel that actually just did not get juiced in the Housnat. You know, there's just whole pieces that just did not get juiced. So that's totally crazy. I think what I want to do is actually, we're just going to go ahead and repress the Housnat pulp as well as the Pure juicer pulp to see how much more juice is left in the two different pulps. Alright, so first I'm going to go ahead and repress the Pure juicer pulp. Sometimes you could get maybe a little bit more, but the Pure is so efficient that pressing a second time is really not going to yield much, if anything, and that's really why the Pure is so beneficial, because, you know, it's going to get all the juice out pretty much the first time. Let's go ahead and fold this back up and put this in the press to see how much juice we can yield. Alright, it looks like it's pretty much done pressing. I mean, it's sitting here dripping. We can let it drip all day if you want, but most of the juice came out of the pulp. Once again, we're going to go ahead and tip that up, and I'm going to show you guys the results on this measuring cup here. So in ounces, it looks like there's about 1.5 ounces left in the pulp. So, you know, to me, it's not even worth putting the pulp back through a second time to get 1.5 ounces of juice. That's a good juice for sure. And now we can take out the 1 mega pulp patty here and show you guys what that looks like. Look at that, one solid mass of pulp. Like, no juicer will get the pulp as dry as the Pure, hands down. Next, let's go ahead and do something interesting. Let's go ahead and put in the pulp from the Housnat high-speed machine back through the Pure. Alright, so we got all the pulp to fit in the press cloth, definitely filled it up. I should probably run 2 batches but we're just gonna go ahead and run one. And let's go ahead and let the pure juicer go to town on that Housnat pulp. All right, it looks like it's done pressing. Let's go ahead and release the press plate and get any last drips out and see how much more juice we got. All right, so taking a look at this, look at that, guys. We have another extra 8 ounces, so literally a full cup of juice was left in that pulp. And when we juiced out the pure pulp, it was like, you know, just literally a few ounces. But now both pulps pretty much look the same. So let's go ahead and pull this one out, show you guys what it looks like. Yeah, 2 pulp pucks, pulp pucks. And this is basically just gonna go in the compost. There's really nothing much left in here to do with. All the juice has been expelled. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and compare the yields. Of course, on the pure, we have 2 containers. One where the juice came out, and this is the juice that came off the grind process. We'll line that up right there, and then we're gonna go ahead and line up the Housnat juice as well. All right, let's go ahead and compare the juices close up for you guys. All right, first off, we'll look at the Housnat juice, and as you guys can see, there's a big, thick foam layer, like a big beer head on top. The foam, to remind you guys, is basically juice that has been aerated. It will pop and then turn back into juice. And then actually on the pure, you can see, yes, there is some foam, but hardly that much. You could actually even see through to the juice there. And then, of course, the juice on the pure that came out the first time just through the grinding alone, basically no foam. And looking over at the Housnat, at the yield, a little bit tough to determine because of all the foam on there, the big head. But if we look closely where the juice ends, I mean, I'm going to say maybe that's like 750, because the rest is basically just like a lot of foam. So I'm going to say like 750 is kind of where we ended up on the juice on the Housnat high-speed machine. Other high-speed machines will be similar, of course, you know, depending if you're doing the same recipe. And then over on the pure, it looks like basically through pressing alone, looks like we're pretty much at 1 liter. That's 1,000 milliliters. Plus we got the extra part from the grinding part, and that's basically right at 200. So we got 1,200 versus 750. So that's about a 60 some odd % increase by literally using the right juicer. When you're using a Housnat, guys, yeah, you may get a cheap juicer. It'll probably leak on you. Spray the juice everywhere and make 60% less juice every single time. And I don't know if you guys checked lately, but produce prices have gone up. And you know, the more you could extract out of your produce, the more nutrition you could squeeze out of the produce, you know, the better deal it is for you. So the pure juicer will pay for itself for sure over time. All right, so you guys just learned that the pure juicer made over 60% more juice than the high-speed machine. Next, we're gonna go ahead and taste test the juice. We're gonna test the Housnat first, pour this off. Actually, good thing we're not even pouring out the foam part that's kind of staying on the top. And we're gonna go ahead and try the juice. I mean, that's a good clean juice. I have nothing to compare it against yet. Kind of tastes a bit watery to me. Good balance. I mean, that's a decent juice. Let's go ahead and try the pure juice. Wow. Interesting. So this one, the juices taste pretty close, right? Because they're both a more fine juice without a lot of particulate in there. The pure juice obviously goes to the press cloth, so this actually has the basically virtually no pulp bits in there. I'm going to say this has very little, because the centrifugal style machines tend to put very little pulp. And then if you guys are using a slow juicer, of course they put more pulp than either of these two designs. I'm going to have to say some of the flavors are a little bit stronger in the pure juice than the Housnat juice. Like, I did taste the ginger a little bit better, probably because the Housnat was not effective at extracting the ginger. Let's go ahead and try the juice from the pure from the grind stage. So it actually didn't have to go through the press. An interesting thing, look at the color difference on this guy. Once it goes through the press, it made it turn a little bit more brown, or a little bit darker, and this is a little bit lighter in color. Showing, that that's doing some additional blowing open of cell walls and some more enzymatic activity, in my opinion. Wow. That's interesting. So of all these three juices, I'm going to have to say actually the juice that came out of the grind alone without pressing tastes the best. I mean, this tastes a bit more rich and full. I mean, it did go through that stainless steel sieve that has a larger pore size than the press cloth for sure. So this one tastes the best, this tastes second best, and this, of course, tastes the least best to me, to my trained juicer expert taste buds. I've been drinking juices for 28 years now. So there you have it. That's the difference between a $50 machine and a $2,500 machine. Now the $2,500 machine is on sale this month. Once again, 15% off any base model. Once again, use that coupon code and the link down below in the description to save an additional $25 off your Pure juicer. And when you guys use that link, Pure will share a small commission with me so I can continue to make these videos for you guys. Link is also down below if you guys want to get the Housnat machine as well. Now the other thing I'll let you guys know is that these are the two extremes. The cheap $50 one, the $2,500 one, but be aware I sell juicers in between those price ranges that are also very high-end. Not quite as high-end as the Pure, but will do a significantly better job than the Housnat. So make sure you check my other videos for those juicers. I mean, probably the video you guys should watch, I'll put a link down below, is my best juicers of 2023, where I share my picks for the top 5 juicers of 2023. So if you guys enjoyed this episode comparing the Pure to the Housnat high-speed machine, give this video a big thumbs up. More importantly, share this with other people so that they could learn the differences between a high-speed machine and a Pure 2-stage cold hydraulic press juicer. Also, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss out on my new and upcoming episodes. I'll be coming out about every 5 to 7 days. You don't know what new juicers I'll be comparing or what new juicer unboxings I'll be doing. And make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as many videos come out. And finally, be sure to check my past episodes. My past episodes are a wealth of knowledge. Over 600 episodes at this time, comparing and contrasting and unboxing all the latest brand juicers, vacuum blenders, and other appliances that allow you to eat more fruits and vegetables so that you guys could get healthier. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors.